8:15. Winter can be a tough time of year with many people starting to feel the so-called winter blues. With a few simple home improvements, though, you can easily transform your space into a more warmer, more cozy space for you and your loved ones. Dan Mills from the Home Builders Association, I should say, of Greater New Orleans joins us now with some tips on this so-called biophilic design. And we're going to also have some tips on protecting your pipes as we go into a really, really cold period here. Dan, good morning. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
So the whole idea of a biophilic design, what is that exactly?
If you're like me, it seems like it's been cold and rainy for days, and you can get a little down. And biophilic design talks about bringing earth elements, nature elements into your home to liven it up, to make you feel happier. There's a lot of mental health evidence that shows that these elements can help.
And so what kind of elements of the earth are we talking about bringing inside?
So the biggest one, the most important, is plants.
Okay.
Bringing in plants can be a great way to do it. Philodendrons can be a great one. They're very easy to handle in the house. Snake plants are great. Spider ferns are really nice. But these kinds of things, they contribute to the air, but mental health evidence has shown that it can improve the quality of life in the home.
Anything to warm up the house a little bit, like temperature-wise?
Absolutely. And we can think about integrating into the design of the furniture. Furniture that has wood elements in it, sometimes curved furniture as opposed to square. These things are more interesting to the eyes and therefore more interesting to the mind.
The brain is such an interesting, complicated thing, and I love that those two little things might just help it feel a little bit better, because it does just feel...
So word of the day, biophilic design.
Biophilic design. So while you're out at the hardware store or Home Depot, Lowe's, maybe grab one of those plants. So let's pivot really quickly. It's supposed to be very cold in the next few days. People are emailing, calling, texting about wrapping their pipes. Should they do it? And if they do, how do they do it? So let's talk about that, Dan.
We don't know if we're going to get ice or snow, but we do know we're going to have some pretty cold temperatures, so we do need to pay attention to the pipes. It's very important to wrap those pipes. We want to use 1-inch foam split pipe. You can put that onto the pipe, wrap it with duct tape in order to seal those. Be sure to do that on all the outside faucets. If you have a raised home, you may have a drip, but don't run that stream. You're going to drop the pressure on the whole city. You want to do a drip, and it should be at the speed of staying alive. So drip, 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 like that. It should be like that.
So not
that
keep
steady,
that in mind. Not that steady stream.
Not the steady stream. The drip, drip, drip is enough. It will maintain the pressure and keep your home safe.
And that's a good tip, because I did see a video last week. Someone was making light of it, but trying to find out the perfect stream of water, because people are told often spaghetti stream, and they're like, is that so the girl it was actually a pretty funny video. She's trying to fight the faucet to see how much water she should have coming out, but the drip is the key.
It's also very important. Go out in the front of your house and see where the water plate is, right, where you get your service. Make an eye line to your house. All right, and the closest point to your house is where your outside water shutoff is going to be.
Okay.
If you get a burst inside your house and you start having flowing water, you're going to need to get outside and turn that off. So know where that's at.
And what about opening the cabinets underneath your sink?
Opening the cabinets under the sink, especially in raised homes, that's very helpful.
And what does that do for people who are unclear on that?
It allows the conditioned air within your home to circulate under those cabinets and further prevent that freezing. And by the way, the drip needs to be on the hot water side, not the cold water side. It should be drip, drip, drip on the hot water side.
So the tune to staying alive. And the last thing you wanted to say before we finished here was what?
We have elderly people that live in our neighborhoods. Some of the folks in our audience have elderly neighbors. Check on your neighbors on Wednesday morning. Make sure they're okay, because they might have had some difficulties in the evening.
And if you want to just bring them over, you have a space, do that.
Coffee with neighbors.
There you go. Great time to do that. Well, Dan, thanks so much for those reminders. And we were also talking about, too, don't wait till the last minute, because you're already seeing some of these materials start selling out. Is that right?
You might want to order something on Amazon. Some of the stores, we're already seeing a heavy load of people going into Lowe's and Home Depot, and there's lots of supply, but as we get closer, the rush is going to be stronger.
Don't forget about the pool noodle option. That's also a good option for protecting those pipes. Dan, some really good reminders to keep us feeling warm and cozy, but also making sure our pipes are protected through the cold weather that Zach Fradella is about to tell you all about.